through living life, you're learning life, right? To live means to learn, because you're always going to be in a new situation. You're always going to experience something that you've never experienced before. If you're not doing that, then that really engaging with the environment around you. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tea Time with Letitia on Gratified Grad, where it's my goal to help you graduate with gratification. Today's tea is one of my herbal blends from the Tea Time Trio, and it's called Uplift. It has butterfly pea in it. Yes, I said butterfly pea. White tea, sarsaparilla root, and it's one other ingredient in here. Can't remember it at this exact moment, but it is, as the name says, uplift. It is an uplifting tea. And one of the health benefits is that it improves mood and improves cognitive function and provides more energy. So if you would like to get you some uplift tea or any of the other teas that are part of the Tea Time with Trio, use the link in the description box to purchase some from my online store. And I want to highlight this mug. So, y'all, first off, I never would have thought that I would be an adult that goes to tea parties, but I actually go to tea parties. And we have themes for our tea parties that we've been doing. And so, this past tea party that I went to, we made mugs. And so, I wrote Gratified Grad on one side, the year, and then Grand Rising. So if y'all know me, I rarely ever say good morning. I say Grand Rising, or I just say hi, or I say good day. So this is my second favorite mug compared to, actually my third. I like all my mugs. We'll just go with that. And with that, I am the guest for today. So we're just going to be talking about updates with Gratified Grad and Tea Time, and just what is to come. So I have started to do themes with Gratified Grad. If you haven't noticed, I did a Mobile Men Edition theme. I will be doing a Mobile Women Edition theme for the entire season. And I'll give you guys a spoiler alert on what to look forward to, but we will have 2 seasons of Dillard. So Dillard University, my HBCU, my DU, okay? And then, because I know so many people from Alcorn State University, we are going to be doing a Alcorn State University edition. So that is tea for everybody. So I've been telling people about the Dillard edition, and I've been interviewing people for that. But nobody knows about the Alcorn State edition just yet. So if you're watching this video, you are the first to know. I have been enjoying growing this YouTube channel and just further out developing Gratified Grad and Tea Time with Letitia and How To Mondays and the Random Wednesdays. So I'm so excited for the content that I have coming out. I would also like to note that, this is just amazing. The conversations that I'm able to have with people, the reflecting that I'm able to do with people, the highlighting that I am able to do with people, it is a blessing. And so I want to also offer it out to all of you who are the viewers and seeing this. If you are interested in being a Gratified Grad, right? Being on Tea Time with Letitia, please use the link in the description box to fill out a request form. Fill out your information and let me know that you want to be featured on here. This is for anybody and everybody, so I'm not looking for specific people. I just want to highlight people who are from the Black and Brown community, people who are allies of the Black and Brown community, and just really promote this change in higher education that just makes it more inclusive and makes it more accessible to those who currently aren't able to access it and don't feel like they're included. So that was my overall update. The topic of discussion today is owning the space that you're in. And so I want to start this conversation off just with like a breathing exercise, like a calming exercise, because I personally just stepped out of a meeting where I'm in the meeting and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like I just elevated in the way that I step at the university, the types of people I'm interacting with, the responsibility that I've taken on at the university. And so while I was sitting in this meeting, like I could feel my heart rate going up. I could feel like this sense of, whew, this is a lot of information I'm taking in right now, and I'm not too sure, like, do I am I ready for this, right? It's definitely not a question of can I do it, but goodness, it is a learning curve. And I think it's really important to recognize that. But before we go even further into that discussion, let's just do a little calming exercise. More for me than you, but I hope that you also benefit from this as well. So that breath was for me to ground myself so that I can effectively lead this grounding. So you can choose to close your eyes or you can choose to leave them open, whichever you are comfortable with. But I ask that you just take a nice deep breath. And you can release it through your nose or through your mouth, whichever one you're more comfortable with. And then I ask that you think about your shoulders. Where are they? Are they a little up? Or do you need to relax them, lay them down a little bit, right? Release them. And so I encourage you to just use the support of whatever you're sitting in or laying down on. Like really allow that to support you. Because that is the purpose of the chair that you're sitting in, or the couch that you're laying on, or the bed that you're laying in. It is there to support you. So allow it to support you. Now with this new understanding or newfound remembrance that we have things here to support us, I want to take another deep breath. And when you're breathing, make sure that you're breathing into this area of your body, right? So you see that come out. You feel that come out. The abdomen, the stomach. And additionally, breathe into your chest, right? So that's like a kind of a 2-breath thing. So and then release. Okay. Now that we have grounded ourselves a little bit, for me, now that I've calmed down a little bit, I want to talk about the importance of identifying when you feel like you either stepped in over your head or you are a bit overwhelmed by something that you're experiencing. So I'll talk about what that looks like for me. And I just mentioned it briefly, where I said that, it was like I could feel my heart rate raising. Like I could feel, and not like that it was like beating out of my chest raising, but I could feel this like feeling of, okay, I'm not in my calmest state of being. So you know how you just felt after we took those deep breaths, you released your shoulders, you allowed the space that you're in to hold you and to support you. That calm state of feeling is what you should be in most of the time, unless you are in fact experiencing a stressor. And so I could tell that when I was in the meeting after a certain point, I was leaving that calm state of being. And it's really important to pay attention to when that's happening, because when you are leaving that calm state of being, you are also leaving the mental space to receive. You're relieving the mental space to be open to more knowledge and more information. You really become constricted and confined. And so, in order to remain in that open space, I actually literally had to start writing, right? And you may think, oh, well, why would I do that? I'm already taken away from the meeting. And if I start writing, I'm taking away even more from the meeting. Well, for me at least, I can only speak for myself. But it actually was helpful because my double brain, how do I say this? I tend to think of multiple things at once sometimes. Or, multitasking, where you're looking at one thing, you have something else playing in the background. So in that moment, when I started to identify that I was leaving that calm state of being, I recognized that, yes, I was paying attention to what was going on in the meeting, but then I was also thinking about, wow, like, you are in this space. You are in this conversation. Your voice is valued and expected to participate in this conversation, even though I fully don't even know what I'm doing. So that's that double thought process where, you have to catch that, right? Because the more important thought process should be, your attention should be on the meeting and how you can provide your best feedback to that meeting. So in that moment, when I started to notice that I was having competing thought processes, I started to write. And I wrote down, I will read you some of what I wrote down. I wrote down, wow, this position and its gravity is still sinking in for me. I also wrote, listen to the words he's saying and breathe. He's only saying words. And so, and with that second comment that I wrote, that was to remind myself that at the fundamental level, I have the ability to understand words, right? So when you start to get overwhelmed in things, you tend to forget that when people are communicating with you, they're just communicating. And I mean, unless they're using very vast words, or they're using words that aren't in normal conversation, you can typically catch on to what someone's saying and follow if you just literally listen to their words and you think about the words that they're saying and in what context they're using them. And so that is the thing that I want to leave everyone with today, is that you're going to end up in moments. Like, it's inevitable that through living life, you're learning life, right? To live means to learn, because you're always going to be in a new situation. You're always going to experience something that you've never experienced before. If you're not doing that, then that means that you're just sitting at home, or you're not really engaging with the environment around you. And I encourage everyone who has the ability to engage with their environment to engage with their environment. And so in engaging, you are going to be in situations where you're not well versed, you don't fully understand what's going on, but realizing that everyone was at that point at some time or another, it's okay, right? You observe, you pay attention, you catch on, and then you soon after, 2 or 3 months of being in the space and reading up on material, you become someone who is no longer overwhelmed by that new experience. And you're like a vet. You a G. You good. So, hopefully, this is another tool that you can add to your toolbox. Stay tuned for the promo video for the Mobile Women edition that will be coming out next week. And in the following weeks, we'll be talking to different women from Mobile, Alabama. Thanks for watching and enjoy your evening or your day or whenever you're watching this. See ya.